So you're going to notice a shift in the way the Proverbs are put together beginning in chapter 10. Leading up to chapter 10, really the Proverbs were small sayings that kind of all connected to the idea of wisdom versus folly, to the direction for young men in particular, how to keep themselves free from adultery, which ultimately had to do with just keeping their hearts undivided and focused on God. But as we move into chapter 10 of Proverbs, you're going to see more traditional style Proverbs where they're just one verse with the proverbial saying within it. And so you're going to find a lot of different things in these Proverbs that are going to stand out. But one of the things that I think is great about that is that makes them easier to retain. It allows you, as you're reading them, just to think about them a little bit longer, to pull out a couple of those Proverbs and just chew on them for what they're worth. Proverbs chapter 10 verse 3 says, "The Lord does not let the righteous go hungry, but he thwarts the craving of the wicked." That's a beautiful phrase. The idea of not letting the righteous go hungry has to do with their soul. It doesn't have to do with their belly. It has to do with the reality that as they hunger after God, as Jesus would say in Matthew 5, when they hunger and thirst after righteousness, God has promised to fill them. But the wicked, they don't pursue that. And because of that, their hearts will not be filled. There will be no joy for them. Proverbs 10:11 through 12 says, "The mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life, but the mouth of the wicked conceals violence. Hatred stirs up conflict, but love covers over all wrongs." You know, one of the most important things about our lives is that how we treat people comes back to us in some way, shape, or form. If we're gracious to people, then a majority of the time we'll find graciousness revisited to us. Is it true in every case? No. Sadly, it's just the nature of who people are. But if you and I pour out love, then love is returned to us. But it's deeper than that. When you and I learn how to exercise forgiveness in a way that is almost childlike, then we realize how deep the opportunity is for us. I think about my own kids and the number of times that I've proven to be more human than I really want to prove to be, you know, where I've been short with them, or I've been loud with them, or maybe I've taken out my frustration for the day on them. And yet I found, the younger they were anyway, that when I looked at them and said, "I'm so sorry," they were so welcoming in that forgiveness. And I felt the warmth of their love for me. And I think that's what the author of Proverbs is wanting us to understand. Yes, you can take a hostile approach to life, and you can be undermining, and you can be cynical, and you can find everything wrong in the world, and that is what will come back to you. But if you and I can exercise forgiveness in ways that maybe some people didn't even expect, then what we find is that forgiveness comes back to us. And the joy of living in forgiveness is the joy of living in wisdom.